Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
You big dummy. Oh, great Odin's raven.
Say hello to my little friend.
I stepped in a ditch last night, man. I almost froze my balls off, man.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day. Good.
What's the problem?
Yeah, David.
Giggity, 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 giggity. Oh, we know what you fear well without.
I'm the doctor.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
This aggression will not stand, man.
Engage.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pulp Culture Cafe. This is season 13, episode 323. Unless I'm wrong, because you're about to look it up, then I will change it. Come on in, take yourself a seat in the corner booth, and let's get our geek on. The gang is back together. Myself, Paul, and Scott, after he had to beat his computer with a stick to make it work.
Yep.
We are all together. As the part that we edited out, may give you updates on the Wrexham football game. If you're supposed to yell, we'll see at the corner of the eye. What else was I going to add? I can't remember. No cold opener because, as I said, Scott was having problems with his hooter. So we're just going to get right into the show. Flux capacitor. So come on, let's get this boat on the road, right? Ooh, scratching your back. At least it's not your balls.
I was gonna say, guess what's next?
Yeah.
All right.
If you hear a slight moan from one of the mics, he's scratching his balls. So, but
is that a Def Leppard sweatshirt?
It is. Good eye.
You just caught a glimpse then. I've been listening to Hysteria this week.
Oh yeah,
It is revisiting my youth. Yes, what a banger! Oh my god,
what an 40th album. Anniversary was just a little while ago. It's Is
that the album that they purposely designed to have nothing but number one hits on it?
Basically, well, that's what happened. But I mean,
amazing. I'm pretty sure I saw an article with the lead singer said that they sat down to write an album that would have nothing but number one hits on it, sort of thing. But
I don't know whether he would just say that. That's like me sitting down and saying, you know what, we're going to do a podcast. These two podcasts today are going to give it the best numbers ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, but it's an amazing album. It's funny. You don't really think about it, but that time period in the 80s, all these like Appetite for Destruction and all those albums, you're like, God, I grew up in that era.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. What a day that was.
Yeah. Unless I can find proof that it wasn't like that, I'm going to go with what he said. He was there. I wasn't. So
I've heard the results. It's hard to argue.
So, all right. So, where you want to start, boys? Or how about something current that you've watched that we can't talk about until later?
All
right, go.
I got a bunch of stuff.
I watched a football TV.
Yeah.
I just finished watching season 3 of Slow Horses.
Oh yeah, we said you're gonna wait because Paul's been watching it. Yeah.
I was wondering how far into it you got. Season 3.
Yeah, we've been just eating it up like a fat kid in a candy store. It's just fantastic. The writing, but season 3, each season gets better, but season 3, it's funny. It felt like one of these seasons that I probably would have paid to see it on a big screen. The writing in that series is so detailed, so intricate. You never know where it's going. I was surprised in the third season with some of the deaths they had. They
Keeps
took
you on your
out.
toes.
Yeah, keeps you on your toes. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting a few major deaths. Few new squad members introduced that I wasn't sure of at the beginning of the season, but by the end of it, they had come along nicely. I do like about this series is the fact that it's so intricately interwoven. It feels like espionage Game of Thrones, where there's so many different storylines going on at the same time that wind together so beautifully at the end. Like each season, I have no idea where the show's going, and that's such a good sign of good writing to me. Yeah. And Gary Oldman, Jackson Lamb to me is just an iconic area. You know, just that the dialogue he has been presented when Gary Oldman's reading these scripts, he must just be like, "This is fucking wonderful."
I think I might have said it to you last time. He's my spirit animal. That's I channel Jackson Lamb every day I'm at work.
Yeah, and I do too. Even when I like, he's got that. I can't get the accent, but I can slip into it sometimes. And Susan said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I think I'm doing Jackson Lamb." I may be wrong about that, but Kirsten Scott Thomas again, just a fantastic acting job. The two other leads whose names escape me, the gentleman, the lady who lost her boyfriend there last season. Yes. Like there's not one bad acting part in the entire series. Again, that's another sign of a real hit to me is the fact that, you know, there's no stone left unturned when it comes to even the acting. The actor who plays what the hell's the name? The blonde-haired. I call him James Bond, except he's not.
Oh, yes. His character's name is River
Cartwright.
River
Cartwright.
actual name is. Yeah.
River Cartwright's dad. Again. Yeah,
he's an iconic actor. What's his name?
I saw him in The Crown. I remember him from The Crown. He played Prince Philip. It's just a phenomenal actor. But I'll tell you, anyone who's listening, if you're looking for a series that's just going to keep you glued, wonderful writing, wonderful acting, storytelling. It's new actually, because it's like, you know, anyone in the U.S. or Canadian audiences really wouldn't know that world of British MI5 espionage, and it's fresh even from that point of view. But we've started season 4, and we're 2 episodes into season 4, and it kind of irks us because we're like, that's it after the season. So, but season 3 can't recommend it enough. The one thing I
interrupt for a sec. Since this conversation is mostly with you guys, I can look up some stuff. So you talking about Freddie Fox, James Spider Webb, the blonde-haired guy?
No.
Yes.
No.
Is it?
No, he's the the Weasley shitneck guy. I don't think makes it past season 2. No, I think the guy that Scott's talking about, he does have blonde hair, but he is like the main agent. He's the one that, you've not seen it actually. I was going to say, he's the one who's actually he's a good agent, but he gets sort of framed for a fuck up in season 1 and gets put in Slough House. But he's actually a good agent. Everyone else in Slough House is a genuine fuck up, but he's actually good. But he's just been, he just ended up getting shoved there because someone else was using him to. But I can't. I'll find out.
He's kind of James Bond, but he's not, because he's not much of a fighter. No. He gets his ass kicked quite a bit.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He gets his ass kicked quite a bit. I mean, I've seen him fight a few times, and he's not bad 1-on-1, but they definitely don't portray him as a James Bond character.
Jack Loudon, it's called.
Yeah.
For the Cartwrights, Jack Loudon, and it's Jonathan Price.
Jonathan Price,
is his dad,
that's it.
Or he's actually his granddad.
Yeah,
he's
granddad.
Around. If you do his IMDb, he's been in a lot of shit.
Oh, I know that actor. I know that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been he gets around that.
So I always assumed it was a younger fellow. That's why.
No, it is a younger fellow. Jonathan Price plays his grandfather.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I can't. It's probably been the best series. I suspect it's going to end up at the end of the year be one of the best, my favorite series of the year. I mean, the writing is just, and that whole twist with the the plane and what was going on and the actual purpose behind it, where they took something that would make sense as a horrific event and it was actually a cover for an even more devious event. It was just fantastic. The writing is just perfect. That's probably the biggest part. I would actually even put that over the acting in this series.
Yeah. Don't want to oversell it, so I don't want to disappoint you. But the 4th season, I think it was probably the last episode where it actually came together. I didn't even know how it was going to end, how it was going to come together until the last episode. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And right up to that point, I thought, I have absolutely no idea what they're thinking. This appears to be 2 or 3 different stories that have absolutely no connecting tissue whatsoever.
And
I have no idea how it's going to end. And they're not, then right at the very end, it's sort of like, holy shit, they did it. They landed, they stuck the landing.
Yeah. Well, we're 2 episodes into the 4th season, and even the first episode, when it happened, I was like, you know, without
Start of the first episode.
Yeah, the start of the first episode, I was like, what the fuck did they do that? Because it's not like they wouldn't do it, because they did it in season 2 where they killed off a major character on a bicycle. And I was thinking, okay, they've done it before, so maybe and I looked at Susan, I said, that sucks. I enjoyed that actor, I enjoyed that that storyline. And then Jackson Lamb gave that little wink, almost a wink and nod to the audience, like, we're not done here yet, folks. And I love that. I love that. But Jackson Lamb's an iconic character. He's one of these characters that every now and then I'll have a character where I'll be quoting their lines for years, and I'm absolutely going to do it. And I'll do the occasional fart inappropriately when people are around.
I don't know if you know, like, if you guys know this far out of the head, but apparently it's 6 seasons it's going to be.
Oh, that's wonderful news.
I knew they were definitely doing another one. Because at the end of season 4, it teased season 5, so they've already started filming it. They've already got, you know,
the teasers.
It's definitely on its way.
Yeah, teasers at the end of each season.
Now this is a British production, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Well, because I was gonna say something, but you never know with whatever. But usually with and what's this on? What channel, or is it?
It's Apple. Which
Apple?
is why you can't guarantee it's a British production, because it's actually Apple TV, but can't imagine it's not a British production. I can't. It's so British.
No, what I was going to say, I find that with a lot of British shows, they're just not. They're usually very contained, where American shows, they never seem to know what's going to happen. With British shows, they seem to have a basic idea that, okay, we're going to run this for 2 seasons or 3 seasons, or episodes are only going to be this many, so we can contain it and fill it out and finish it properly. So with Americans, you never know. There's so many shows that done in the United States that they give you the cliffhanger, right? And then they say, well, okay, no, we're not going to do another one.
And now it's cancelled.
Yeah.
So. No, I think we're okay with Slow Horses. It's because it's 6 episodes each season, and they wrap it up at the end of episode 6, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this isn't the Slow Horses podcast, but kind of just to sort of like wind things up a bit, just to kind of echo what Scott's saying there. It's just so good. Just Jackson Lamb on the surface is. It's just an absolute mess. He's the type of person that you wouldn't let anywhere near a team of people in a million years. But it's like trying not to spoil it. It's like you say, you think to yourself, holy shit, we've lost somebody. But you do genuinely think you might have lost somebody, because you have lost quite major characters previously. But it's not a regular occurrence. It just comes out of the blue. It's like, it can't be dead. It can't be. You wait another episode or 2 for him to come back, and it's like, Jesus Christ, they actually killed them. They actually killed the character. So it wouldn't come as a massive surprise. But what was cool was that you every now and again you get an insight into just how skilled Jackson Lamb is in this world, because he spotted it, he understood, he immediately joined the dots and just turned on a switch. And when someone came to him and sort of like said, all right, what's going on? He immediately started lying to cover up the fact that he knew what was actually going on. And he spotted it all in the space of 10 seconds. And it's just moments like that where you think, this guy, this shitbag act that he puts on, when he just sort of like, if he farts around like a like a bumbling fool, like, you know, like a foul-mouthed Columbo. Yeah, he bumbles around like a foul-mouthed Columbo, but he's actually the most intelligent person on screen in any scene.
Yeah.
He has control of everything all the time. So good.
This felt like when I was watching, I was thinking, this is Apple's Kevin Spacey House of Cards moment, where they got this top tier actor and they've got him in this hit TV show, and it's going to put them on the map for that reason. So
yeah. They've been extremely lucky to get Gary Oldman in that. I can't imagine anyone else doing the same job that Gary Oldman's doing.
I couldn't
I
either.
don't think they can. No.
So
no. Anyway, highly recommend it. If you're listening and you haven't watched it yet, get on it.
Please do so.
Apple TV. Yeah.
That's right. The fuck do you mean?
Who needs Apple TV when you can find different sources?
I can kick into his foot. What the fuck do you mean? When he goes, "What the fuck do you mean?" It's that whiny. The English accent. What the fuck do you mean? Well, you get the fuck off on out of here.
Yeah, that high pitched exasperation. So like,
yeah.
What
the fuck do you mean? Yeah. All right then, fuck on out of here.
Yeah. Okay. Love you, fuck.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
The second season of Rogue Heroes on Prime about the SAS.
Yes, I saw the second season had dropped, but I've not actually seen the first one.
So,
have you watched it? Is it?
Yeah, I've watched not all of it. I'm kind of taking my time. I'm up to season. There's only 6 episodes, and I'm just finished the 3rd episode. And again, I find it hardly entertaining. World War II stuff about this group, even though it tells you right at the start this is based on an actual group and some of the events. It comes up very clear and says this is not a history lesson, right? Make sure you understand this is entertainment, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit like that ungentlemanly warfare thing that we spoke about a little while ago. Kind of based on a true story, but stylized to fuck.
Embellished.
Yeah,
embellished.
So, again, I'm finding it very entertaining. I love the friction between the two leads now. Who is it? Jack O'Connell, Patty Main, and then the Connor Swelden, who was the lead or the main guy in the first episode that got the group together, right? He's in prison in Italy. So his brother is off to come over and take over the group. But as in the first ones, the group isn't well loved. They're needed, but they're not well loved. He comes in and draws another SAS. So they changed the name to SAL or something. But it's run more rigorously, not with the flair, let's say, of the SAS doing what they need to do and doing. So it's Patty is always spouting poetry to the guys, and he is an evil fuck in a way. I mean, evil in the way he knows what his job is, and he does his job. And I find him very entertaining, the friction between the two, because there's no saluting, there's none of that shit in the group. One guy, they're in this small Italy town, and the one guy, he's a skinny blonde kid, has been with it from the start. He's the demolition expert. But anyways, he walks past the girl. He didn't salute. He's wearing just regular civilian clothes and a hat. And I can't try and find his name here. He the colonel, or the lead now, the Winchell's brothers, yells at him, "Where's my salute?" And he stops, and it's just like a "fuck you" salute. He's smiling at him. Here's your salute. Fuck you. Because they don't do any of that, because they know they're the spear tip, and as a spear tip, their chance of survival is really nil. And right now they're in a small town in Italy. They were at show, it ended with them having to get ready for a counterattack by the German soldiers that were there. They because they were when they were SSA was informed by one of the guys that the main soldiers had a certain patch on them that made them the infantry group that they knew they were part of the well-trained soldiers. The ones that they surrendered had none, so they figured there was a counterattack coming, and they're waiting for that to happen. The on Sinwells will play David Sterling, or is it? No, David Sterling plays it. Yeah, no, that's it. I'm getting mixed up. The actor's Connor Swindells. I find this what's really reason. If you ever watch any of Bad Education or Sex Education, sorry, Sex Education. Yeah. He's one of the high school kids in it. And here he is playing the lead, David Sterling, the main character. So it was like, okay. Another Sophie Butella. She was the mummy, right?
I know you mean.
And she played the alien in Star Trek.
Yeah, she was in that Rebel Moon, was it?
Yes, Rebel Moon. Yeah,
she was like the lead in that. Yeah,
she's in that. So she's in the second season now, and overall, it's really it's entertaining. And if you like World War II stuff, you'll find it entertaining. But it's not. I'm sure there's aspects like the battle they talked about, and they do a real good job of mixing in modern music in with the footage. It doesn't seem out of place. So I think that, but I find it like. I'll probably watch an episode again tonight, but I'm spreading my day to day. I'm not doing it all in one shot.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
I think I might have to give that a go. It's kind of on my radar, but up until now, I didn't know anyone that had seen it.
Oh, I like that stuff. Especially if it's entertainment. I love the World War II stories. And just, even though you take a real group and then splice it up a little bit, I really like that stuff. Yes. Starts so season 3 starts with the guy that's taking over the unit. He's in a bar. The British Army decided to not give him leave to go home. His dad had died, so he wanted to go home for I forget the term of it. So he decides to beat the fuck out of a whole bunch of cops.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. So he didn't stop until someone actually put a gun to his head. Then well, I better stop now. There was like 5 or 6 guys just laying there. But yeah. Okay. Where were you? You were Scott. You talked about slow horses. Rogue Heroes. Paul?
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
Oh man, I've got loads of shit to
I got other stuff, so I'm just moving around here.
Oh yeah. No, I just don't know where to start. I'm going to just drop something in really quickly. You were talking about Monarch: Legacy of Monsters a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
I've just started watching it. I think I've watched the first 3 episodes so far. We've just landed on a snowy mountain. And then some creature comes up right at the very end of the episode. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really good. I really like that they've got Russell and Wyatt Russell playing the same character like 50 years apart. Because my God, they look and sound so similar. You can completely 100% back straight into it. It's very good. I'm enjoying it.
That's his son, right? That's his son, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I
thought you thought it was just a coincidence, and I'm thinking, well, it's not.
Yeah.
I do know it's his son, but I mean, just the fact that they are so similar. I mean, I know it's his son, and you kind of expect that, but even when they're on the screen, just like mannerisms, the way to speak, the inflection, that sort of thing. Don't know how much of it just comes genetically or naturally, or whether Wyatt Russell is sort of like just going out of his way to sound like his dad in certain places. Because when Kurt Russell does appear on screen, because he doesn't come in until like later on in episode 2, I think.
Yeah.
When he sort of like turns around and starts talking to them, it's like same guy. It's it's the same guy. And you just buy right into it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think you might have given something away in the review that you did a couple of weeks ago that I thought, but it matters not. I'm still looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. So I'm just going to drop in something else very quickly here. Did we talk about Day of the Jackal last time we spoke? I think we'd all seen that, had we?
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
Oh.
Doesn't mean no.
Yeah,
This part is just you talk about whatever. We don't have to all watch it. Just the certain ones that I mentioned early, we all should have watched. But this, go ahead, talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't remember whether we'd already spoken about it or not. That's all. So that's really good. Obviously, it's based on the old novel. God, I can't remember the name of the author.
There's been a couple films made of that, isn't it? Too.
Yes, there has. Yeah. We watched the one from the 1973, I think it was from, with Edward Fox as the Jackal. I mean, it's pretty dated now, but we watched that in anticipation of watching the miniseries, which has got Eddie Redmayne in as the Jackal, and I forget the name of the woman who's the lead in it, but she's
the
new
Rambo,
7,
right? That's the same actress that plays the I can't remember the first name in the Marvels.
She?
Yeah.
Oh yes, she is. Yes, the mother, not the
mother,
not the daughter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, really good. I mean, it really sort of expands on the original story because we were kind of expecting a remake, but it's just not. It tells a completely different story, and it's so interesting. It's because basically in the movie Day of the Jackal, or the novel, you've got this hitman who's being paid to. I think he's going to assassinate Charles de Gaulle or something. And it's basically, Eddie Redmayne is the Jackal. He's this hitman. He's this international hitman, and he's obviously the target has changed. It's not Charles de Gaulle because that's all like from decades ago.
Yeah.
So a figure from decades ago. So the target changes, but he's juggling some other contracts, and you kind of end up rooting for him because his life gets so complicated. It's more of an insight into how difficult it is to be an international hitman. And you think, wow, I feel really sorry for Eddie Redmayne. He's having a really difficult time with this, trying to juggle his personal life and these jobs that are going wrong and so on and so on. It really is quite interesting. It's very good. It's, as with most things these days, you get some like absolute top tier actors in there, and you've got some excellent TV series. So if no one here has watched it, I won't talk about anything specific, but definitely worth a watch. I think it's about 10 episodes, something like that. Yeah, it's very, very good, worth watching. And I think at the book end of it, you'll think, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
No.
I've seen the trailer for it. He Eddie Redmayne, I know him from more.
He does a lot of different stuff.
He does a lot of softer roles. Like I watched him in the Harry Potter spin-off, and I thought he was just such a effeminate character. And then he was in the one with when I saw he was in this Day of the Jackal, I was like, okay, this is a bit rougher part for him than I'm used to seeing him in. So I'd be curious how he does in that role. That's one of the reasons it's on my to watch. Actually, I want to watch it just because I'm curious. I know he's a good actor, but this seems like a very different role for anything he's done in the past.
Yeah. Think on the surface of it, you'll look at him and you'll think he's kind of the same guy, and he's kind of got that soft edge to it. Because like the wife was saying while we were watching him, every time he's speaking, it looks like he's trying to stop himself from bursting into tears.
Yeah.
Like soft edge to it.
Yeah.
But then he'll just flat out kill someone without blinking an eye, and it's like, oh shit, he's just a sociopath. That's it. He's just like the coldest blooded killer.
Yeah.
But just no emotion, no anger, no rage, nothing. Just, well, I need to kill this guy. Now you're dead. So yeah, it's a different role for him, but not like a massive change of personality. It's kind of the same sort of character that you've seen before, but Newt, what's his face from the Harry Potter movies, would never just pull out a gun and just slot somebody.
No.
Nah. Just his wand. He'd whip his wand out and make his head go poof.
Yeah, that's right. So it's very interesting. Yeah, definitely worth watching. Man, I've got such a long list.
I remember watching him in Harry Potter, and he was the romantic lead, and I remember thinking that he had as much romantic chemistry as I do with this can of Pepsi. It was just wow.
Yeah.
But
well,
this is what it is.
Your list, don't worry about it. We get another show to do, so you got.
That is true. That is true.
So,
okay. Well, go on then. You go.
What was I was just going to mention something. Oh, there was a Canadian series, a comedy series done a long time, and I've never watched it completely, but I am watching it now, and I think it's one of the classic Canadian series because it takes a place in Canada, but it's not whipping it out, wheat fields in the background, but cornergas. I have been watching that, and it's become one of my comfort shows because it is so laid back. It's hard to describe. It's in the fictional town of Dog River. The main setting is the gas station, Ruby's, the restaurant, and it just has a cast of different characters. It's almost like a Family Guy Simpsons in a way, because they have the flashbacks of different stuff during a conversation, and it reminded me so much of that type of thing with Family Guys, where Peter's talking about something, they flash back, and then they recognize it in a way, because the guy's telling, and they flash. The actor who plays his dad calls everybody jackass, no matter who it is, and you wonder how he got by in life if it wasn't for his wife, because he's so goddamn dumb. And they got the Hank, the town idiot. The best way to describe it, the town idiot is he doesn't seem to be doing anything, but he's there all the time, coming up with stupid things. And the main leads is Brett, the owner of the gas station, and what's her name? The lady
it's
that
set in Saskatchewan, isn't it?
Yes, that's just it.
Yeah.
They bring it up. When they talk about we go into the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, the football game. But they have the premier of Saskatchewan at the time on the show. Yeah. They even have the PM. Imagine the Prime Minister of Canada makes a guest spot on the TV show.
What's it, Trudeau?
What's the name of the show again?
Cornergas.
Cornergas.
Yeah.
Cornergas.
It's very distinctly Saskatchewanese.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when you were building that up, I was like, oh my God, John found the littlest hobo somewhere on TV.
Oh God, no.
But you were like, it's wholesome, and I was like, Jesus, he found the show.
But Lacey Burrows, Gabrielle Miller, she plays the owner of the Ruby. And so
kind of a precursor to Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I just found it a little bit more Steinfeld and Simpsons and that kind of stuff. It's a combination of a few different shows, but it's Canadian all the way, right?
Oh,
it's definitely
for
Canadian. Sure. One of my favorite things is that the Davis Quinton, the cop, Native Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does such a great job of being just a person, not the stereotype that you think a Native cop would be. And so great. So there's a lot of different people. There's a huge cast of different people coming in and out. It ran for, I think, 6 seasons. A movie, and then it did an animated series. I don't know if that's still running or not. But
it's amazing. You'll see these wonderful actors in Canadian series, and you never see them again. Battlestar Galactica is good. It's just they're Canadian actors, and they just don't get that big break into the U.S.
So, if you want to see good Canadian humor, to me, check out Corner Gas.
Never even heard of this, but I've just Googled it while you were talking about it. 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb. That's, this is obviously a really good show that I've never even heard of before now.
Huh?
No.
That's amazing.
Like, it's one of those shows that got picked up, in Canada, done through the CTV network, I believe, or one of those, and then maybe shipped to some states. But one of the shows that should have been out more worldwide.
Canada does that. They'll have shows from specific provinces that just seem to take out. You got the Trailer Park Boys in the East, Schitt's Creek in Ontario, the Beachcombers in BC. You've got the Corner Gas.
The Beachcombers.
The Beachcombers. Relic. I mean, God Almighty. I remember when I saw him play a different character. It was so fucking bizarre. He played I want to say George Bush, the first George Bush in a movie. And I was like, it's so weird seeing Relic as anything else. So. But they do that Canadian. They'll have TV shows from specific parts of the country, and they become iconic because they're so original, because each part of the country has its own unique culture.
Wow.
But
I can watch it. I can watch it free on Amazon Prime, apparently.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm watching it on Crave.
Fancy that.
Give it a couple of shots. Give it like a 3-episode watch and tell me what you think. So, and what else? Oh, I don't know if you guys ever watched any of the Harley Quinn, the animated series.
I watched the first season of the third season. Somehow I managed to miss the second season completely. I started watching the third season thinking it was the second season, and they were referencing things that had happened. The second season, I thought, what the fuck are they talking about? That's it. I actually really like it. I think it's pretty funny. I like it. Some of those characters, like the shark. What's the name of the guy who voices the shark?
I don't know.
I can't remember his name.
Well,
it's very funny.
The guy that does Clayface is
that's Alan Tudyk, isn't it?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
I knew it was an M. I knew it was an M.
So
it's a big name to us nerds, anyway.
I
think it's really funny.
I really enjoy it. But I've been waiting for it to come on the other 2 seasons on Netflix. They have it on Netflix, but they're starting the 5th season, and then nothing's come up. So
I've not seen the 4th.
I'm kind of like, okay, well, type. Oh, there it is. So
it's one of those shows in the UK. It's like rocking horse shit. It's like, how the fuck am I supposed to watch this without paying for it? So
so that's on my watch list of other stuff to watch, because I think, and then Scott and I talked about last week's American Primeval, which I've got to start up again. I don't know if you've seen any of that. It's on Netflix. If you like westerns and lots of blood, right? It's got to have lots of blood in it. So
also that's they don't get out of bed, but nothing less than lots of blood.
Oh, that was great. One of the best westerns I've seen in a while.
Well, that's what I've heard. Nothing but good things about it. I thought it was a one and done, but there's always rumors of a second season, so I don't know.
No, it's a one and done.
Well, Hollywood, if something's successful, they'll figure some way to get around.
I'd be very shocked. I've been watching, I got that Apple app, and I've been watching Wild Horses, but I've also been looking at some of the other stuff on there, and I've got 2 movies. I'll talk about one now. Do either of you see Greyhound with Tom Hanks?
The World War II escorts. Yes, I watched that one.
Okay, you saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did not see it at the time. I didn't have the app, and I watched it, and good, not great. Tom Hanks, unfortunately, whenever you see him in anything like that, you're always going to compare him to his previous work because he was in one of the greatest movies of all time, Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan ran at about 2 hours and 31 minutes. This movie ran at about 91 minutes. And that was probably one of the bigger issues with this film, is that they didn't have time to flesh out the characters as they did in Saving Private Ryan. So when things happened, you really didn't care that much about them because you didn't really know the characters very well. They tried a bit. The two gentlemen that were fighting, and the guy who African American man who was his valet almost. It's like, kind of like he was a valet, but he also loaded the weapons. He was also a weapons tech. So they tried a bit, but they just didn't have the time. It probably should have been a 2 hour plus movie. I mean, it's a great. The more I read about this, because I really didn't know that much about that part of World War II, but these convoys of like anywhere from 40 to 50 ships were going across the Atlantic Ocean, and they were losing air cover about 100, 200 miles off the coast of Canada or the U.S., and they weren't getting it back until about 150 kilometers off the coast of England. And in that time, they were being hunted by wolves the entire time. And I enjoyed that because it was a fresh, because I had never heard that story. There were a few things that stuck out to me when you see a dinosaur on screen, you're like, oh, there's a dinosaur. When you see a dog and then you see a CGI dog, you're like, that's not a fucking dog. And when you're in the water after seeing Titanic, you're like, that's not real water. And it doesn't, and that's the one thing that kind of took me out when you're seeing these U-boats and ships in the water, and you're like, that's not fucking water. But I mean, just simple stuff like that. There was one beautiful scene that I thought was very well done. When there's it's a major battle scene, and they pan the camera up and go above the clouds, so they don't have to show the actual scene. But it's like Jaws. You're like, this is what's going on below the surface. It's like they literally went above the water almost, and I thought that was incredibly well done, because your imagination's thinking about what's actually going on the surface, and the fact that this actually happened, where these U-boats would just literally attack in the middle of the night. And I didn't know this until I did a bit more research on it. The wolf ships, the wolf subs used to literally get on there, and they would find their frequency and they would taunt them. So that actually did happen. So they probably could have had another 45 minutes. I would have liked to get on the characters a bit more. They tried a bit. They just didn't have the time. I think this was shot during COVID, because I'm seeing movies now in that time period, and you're not seeing a massive cast, or you're only seeing a few people at a time, and you realize, oh, it's because they had those protocols they had to follow. Elizabeth Shue was kind of wasted in this film. She had a very bit part as the love interest, but they didn't really give her a lot to work with. Good, not great. I mean, just the subject alone made it interesting to me, and it did look good. It was just every time, they had this one shot where they kept showing it over and over, where the boat crests over the waves and goes down. That one shot kept on going back to the well with it. They did a little ode to Titanic with the hitting the ship and Tom Hanks looking down as it kind of tops it going along there. When Titanic hit the iceberg, they kind of did a little homage to that.
Well,
but
I didn't recognize it because I never watched Titanic. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it hit an iceberg, and then.
But
what happened was, when I was watching this, you realize Tom Hanks is a really great actor, and that's both the movies I've watched. They were okay movies, but his acting chops and his mannerisms, his facial expressions, brought even the people he was acting with brought their work up. Because there was a guy, I've seen him in you've probably seen him in a bunch of stuff too. He was kind of not wasted in this movie, but I've seen him in Stephen Graham. I've seen him in Boardwalk Empire. He played Capone actually in Boardwalk Empire. He's a British actor.
He is.
Yeah. He was in Peaky Blinders also, and he's just a really great actor. Yeah, exactly. He's a really great actor, and he played Tom Hanks' second in command. And they didn't have the scenes together I thought they would. Good, not great. And that's the best thing I could say about this entire film is good, not great. Anything with Tom Hanks and World War II background, it's not gonna suck. And this one was good. It's worth a watch.
Sorry.
Do you think it would have been better if they'd had that extra half an hour? Is that the only thing that was missing, or is it like the budget let it down a little bit as well?
The budget let it down.
Was it never going to be good?
It was never going to be great. I don't think they had the budget or they skimped on it. I remember when I was reading about how they made Saving Private Ryan, they literally went to a slaughterhouse in northern England and they fired live rounds into slabs of beef, so that when those shots on the beach, when you saw those bullets, you heard those bullets hitting meat, they were literally hitting meat. That's the quality of detail that went into Saving Private Ryan. And when they kind of scrimped on it on this, I think it took away from the film. We've seen so many realistic World War II films, and as I said, you could tell it wasn't real water.
Yeah.
And that was just stuff like that. But I mean, with the time, if they had given you a chance to flesh out the characters, they tried. But they had a fight with the gentleman at the beginning, but it wasn't enough. It was that's what made it good, not great. They could have told more story.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely some intense moments. I mean, when those guys, when they're playing cat and mouse with those German U-boats, I mean, it was very tense. They got the tension down. They just didn't have enough of a build-up to that tension for it to go into the great area of war movies.
I imagine they were hoping that I think Tom Hanks in it that he'd actually carry it on his shoulders, but
yeah, that's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened.
Oh well.
Yeah.
No,
I watched it
not
when it first came out, so I don't remember a lot of it, but I did enjoy it. And like I said, a lot of the enjoyment has to do with just Hanks himself, right?
Yeah, subject matter and Hanks. I mean, Hanks in a World War II movie, you're just not going to go wrong.
Yeah.
But
I was looking up for that Stephen Graham had wrong. I recognize him from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking. No, is it that one?
Yeah.
No, the second movie that
He was definitely in Snatch. It was him and Jason
Snatch.
The two lead guys in Snatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have either of you watched Boardwalk Empire?
No.
Oh yeah, I love Boardwalk.
No, okay, yeah. I was gonna say,
I haven't.
Yeah, it's very good. It's funny that actor in Boardwalk Empire that left in season 2, I've never seen him again, and he was a brilliant actor. You know what I'm speaking about?
Yes. He was the younger guy who I actually thought was going to be like the main character right the way through. Yeah, just that. No.
Never seen him again, and he was a fucking brilliant actor.
No. But there were some other actors that I think it did actually launch the career. I mean, say launch the career.
Charlie Cox.
Just be watching. Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon. See him in anything.
Michael Shannon. Yeah.
Until he'd been in Boardwalk Empire. Yeah. And then next thing you know, he's General Zod.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of the character, but it's the Italian guy who ended up being the stepdad in Ant-Man.
Yes.
I've never seen him in anything, but he'd been in quite a few things since then.
Marshala Ali was also in that.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah.
That was a fucking banger of a series. You look back, there's a lot of careers that launched from that.
Oh yeah.
And I stopped seeing Nucky Thompson, the actor's name, from the Adam Sandler movies.
Buscemi.
I stopped seeing Steve Buscemi as a comedic actor, and I'm thinking, holy shit, this guy has chops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was very good. What was I going to say then? Sorry, I don't want to step on your toes. Have we've finished with this, haven't we?
So,
I was just before we get too far into anything else, I was going to say Silo. I think I heard you guys talking about Silo last week before.
I know I talked about it. Yeah.
I think you might have mentioned that you were going to ask me about it the next time I was on the show.
Yeah.
Have you seen right the way to the end of the second season?
Yeah, I'm down to the end season and two. Scott, I don't believe you've watched any of it, have you?
We're gonna watch it. I mean, it's on our kind of watch list, but it's might even start this weekend, but we'll see.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Now, I think I might have mentioned it previously, but this is more for you, Scott, because John's seen it now. But it is kind of a slow burn. But I think the journey's worth it because it's one of those shows where it twists and turns, and you just think, what the fuck is going on? You know, so many questions, and it's sort of like it does grip you like in that way. But in a lot of respects, it does feel like a bit of a grind because everything looks the same. All the sets are the same. The costumes are the same. There's no real advancement of anything. So it kind of feels like it's plodding along quite slowly, but it's a little bit like Lost. Every now and again, it'll just drop something in there and it'll just blow your mind, and you'll be like, what the fuck? So, yeah.
It's a very dialogue-driven show. It is. It's a show driven by story and dialogue and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something, I'll use Rogue Troopers, because Rogue Troopers, even though there's conversation and talk, it is driven by action a lot. Where there's action in Silo, but it's not as pronounced as would be in like Rogue Heroes. But I find it. I find it all right. I didn't find it as slow as Paul did at times, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, once he's right. Once you get going and allow it to go through, it gets very good, and a lot of intrigue in it. A lot of chess moves. We're trying to make sure you get ahead. So
yeah, a little bit of backstabbing and chess moves.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to just general news now. General news. Now, I know I said, and I assume we're going to talk about a little bit. Do you want to talk about Diamond or save that for the next show?
I don't have as much research on it as I thought I would. I know bare bones, but probably save it for next show. Okay. It's bad. It's a very bad thing.
Yeah, I've highlighted a bunch in my Feedly with different little articles about it, so we can go right through there.
Do it if you want.
Well, no, we gotta make sure you have content for the other show too, right?
Sure, works for me.
So we'll leave it till then. What other little bit of news then you have, Mr. Newshound?
Did anyone?
I was gonna say, just as Paul, as Kevin Smith would say, damn it, Seymour Kuntz used to be a news hound, so now he's got all the news or his information, what news about. He brings you news, yeah, give me another drink. Okay.
Doesn't pick me up as much as it used to, but there's things that pop out to me, and when I've said there's going to be a schism in Hollywood in the last 5 years, and I watched that video with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. The 5-minute video talking about film and TV futures in Texas. Have either of you seen it?
No, I don't remember seeing it.
When you watch it, you haven't watched it. It's basically in the vein of True Detective season 1, where Woody Harrelson's driving and Matthew McConaughey's in the seat, and Dennis Quaid's in the back seat, and he's the guy in handcuffs. And Billy Bob Thornton's in it, and there's a few other actors in it, and it's basically talking about out loud what people have been thinking for years, that Hollywood may be going in a different direction, and there's a chance for an alternative. When I saw the video, I was thinking, and all the comments said the same thing, people in Hollywood are not going to be happy about this.
Oh, yeah.
I actually wish you'd both seen it. You would have realized how
what is it again, and where did you see it?
Go to YouTube. Woody, it's a 3-minute long video. Why don't you just pause and watch it, and we'll talk about it. YouTube, Matthew McConaughey, Texas. Pause for a sec, watch it for 3 minutes, and come back.
Oh, True to Texas. Let's bring productions home. Is that what we're talking about?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we doing this? Are you going to cut out the?
Just pause for 3 minutes. Yeah.
So what is
Detective?
it?
True to Texas.
Right.
If you put True in Texas and Matthew McConaughey, it'll come up on YouTube.
Texas ad. Okay, yeah. All right, let's watch it.
All right.
I mean, I can edit it out, so.
Yep.
4 minutes long, 4:10.
Yep. It's not very long, but it's powerful, and you'll know when you watch it.
It is. It's definitely channeling True Detective.
Yeah.
And I love True Detective. Pretty cool. Hey, obviously, just a sales pitch, but
Yeah.
I know, but you don't make a video like that unless you're 3 to 5 steps ahead already. I mean, if I was someone in Hollywood now, one of the big power brokers in Hollywood, that is a thing called shots fired.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that within the next 10 to 15 years, you are going to have a massive rival to Hollywood. You're kind of seeing it now with Taylor Sheridan stuff in that whole Yellowstone universe. But I don't know. California is going to be in trouble. I think that I don't think it's
because
going
basically
to be,
Texas has the same kind of weather, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they've got that's the thing people loved about California. You can do the mountains, you can do the coast, but so can Texas. And when you get that kind of when you get stars of that caliber saying, "Why are we going to California?" I guarantee you, the fact that person is, it's something like when someone stands up like that, you're going to see people say, "Okay, I feel safe. I can say it now. Yeah, California sucks and this and this and this, and they do a bunch of shit I don't like. I'm going to shoot in Texas." And when I watched that, I was like, "Wow, there's going to be some."
It's going to be a new division also, not between Hollywood and Hollywood. Like, it's between Hollywood and Hollywood. It'll be like like he said, the spinning record of Hollywood class.
Yes.
Going to start going after these actors in that want to go back to just telling stories, it sounds like.
Telling stories. When McConaughey said that, I was thinking to myself, wow, he's saying what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah.
And that's going to resonate.
You're going to see, the left in Hollywood suddenly start screaming and calling them names and rednecks and they want to do this. The whole world is based on confrontation and not cooperation. But I laughed when he said, "You mean my barber's gonna get a cut of this?"
Yeah.
And he looked at him. Barbers.
That made me chuckle. Yeah, I think you're about 3 seconds behind me while I was watching that. So that was funny. Yeah, when he started laughing, I thought, I know exactly what you're laughing at. Yeah. Well, maybe not your barber.
Yeah.
But you've got one of the nicest guys in Hollywood, and Woody Harrelson. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything bad about him. Matthew McConaughey was a very prolific speaker, and that wasn't done on a whim. That was done where they're already 3 to 5 steps ahead of where they want to be. And I guarantee you, Texas, I thought this when they've really started down a path in Hollywood, a very ideologically bound path. I said, sooner or later, someone's just going to stand up and say, okay, we can do this too. We can run a camera. And I think this was the shots fired. Hey, you're going to see a movie industry in that part of the woods within the next 3 to 5 years, I think. So that was interesting to me. I saw it yesterday. I thought it was cool.
That was pretty good.
It's very interesting because if the Texans have start making, if you start making things in Texas, I don't think you're going to have as much pressure to put in these subliminal messaging about certain political ideologies.
That's what they were talking about. They're just saying, let's get back to and not worrying about having these things that we were forced to have to do. And
the
we're
Oscars
going to start doing maybe like 20 years ago, let's say.
Yeah.
Movies like 20 years ago.
We'll start making 80s action movies again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. The kind of era
would be great.
Taylor Sheridan stuff. There's a lot of 80s stuff that I'm thinking this sells. This meat and potato stuff. Anyone can relate to it. It doesn't matter who you are. But anyway, Poor Craven the Hunter ended its theatrical run with 59 million worldwide. Ouch. Wow. That's a great actor. He's a great actor too. I want to see it now to see if it was that bad. I don't think it is. I've had this theory for years that Marvel has been trying to shoot Sony in the head so they can get the rights back to Spider-Man, and it's never been easier to sabotage something. So I'm very wary of the fact that it was a $59 million in gross sales movie. I think that it was sabotaged in some way. And the president of Sony, I think I mentioned on one of the previous shows, where he said, it doesn't matter what we do now, the critics are not going to like it. And the rest of that sentence was because they're told not to. He never said that. He was very clear and specific on his words, but he was like, someone's fucking with us. Throughout the interview, he kind of alluded to that. And part of me believes that. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence that Sony, who has made a ton of other movies that are have done very well, this entire universe needs to be snake bit. Because if it was successful, Marvel would never possibly have the rights to get Spider-Man back. And now, after flop, they may actually get it. So that's
do you
rough.
think the viewing audience is really, like, most people say, well, I don't listen to critics, right? So if you use that theory, well, we don't listen to critics, and they go to the show and it still blows, it's word of mouth that it's also helping getting these.
I like it with Morbius. Morbius's biggest issue was editing, and I've mentioned that before, but the way it was savaged.
Yeah,
the
the
way it
editing
was
was
savaged.
bad.
Yeah, the way it was savaged on every level was like, okay, wait a minute, guys, it had some bad points, but the way it was completely destroyed and broke down, from acting to, they literally tried to make fun of it at every turn. It was very weird. I'd never seen a movie critiqued like that.
Yeah.
Like, people bullied it online. It was very bizarre.
Yeah. Well, then you're bullying people, or regular people, right? Regular people are bullying it around. So,
but when I see it online and I see the campaigns and I see where the accounts that are coming from, I'm thinking, this doesn't feel natural. This isn't some guy from a big account saying this sucks. It was like dozens of little accounts. And when you look at those accounts and the followers, it seemed very concentrated, very specific. I'd never seen a film where they were like, let's get it re-released so we can laugh at it again. Just weird shit like that. I'd never seen that with a film before. But anyway, we'll see.
I still think that there's got to be more reason than that. They've got to be that bad. So, I mean, I've never watched Morbius again, and won't watch Madam Web and Craven. Like, if you watch Craven, all right, let me know when you watch, if I can find it. How about Paul and I take one for the team? We'll watch Craven too. Sure. So we can all talk about it and then see where it goes from there.
I don't think it's free yet. I think they're still
it's free depending on where you look. See.
Yeah. I watched the first 8 minutes and I was thinking, okay, this must get really bad, because the first 8 minutes of it was free online. And I watched it and I'm thinking, this is not a. I've seen shittier movies make a lot more at the box office, 59 million.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I think this is part of the problem. It's like, it's hard to gauge how many people were scared away from it by the online stuff, because not everybody is as plugged into online. Not everybody who goes to the cinema gives as much of a shit about Twitter or some YouTuber's opinion about what the movie's like. But that'll be why they made 59 million. There's $59 million worth of people who didn't give enough of a shit about social media and went to go and see it anyway. They might have enjoyed it. They might have had a good time. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's like, to your point, Scott, Morbius, I have never seen that before or since, where the general public, or social media, I should say, that which isn't the general public, it's AI bots and all sorts of false accounts. But social media kind of bullied Sony into re-releasing the movie just so they could bully it again.
Yeah, it's very
completely
weird.
Unheard of.
Yeah, very weird.
And it's like when this movie first came out, I mean, right from day one, and possibly even just before it came out, everyone online, everywhere you looked, any search engine, any YouTube channel, on Twitter, X, whatever, everywhere you looked, everyone was saying, "Do not go and watch this movie."
Yeah, I know.
There wasn't even like a reasonable review, because I've listened to a podcast of some nerds that have actually been to see it, and they talk about the whole movie start to finish, and they said, yeah, it's not a great movie. It is pretty boring. Spend too much time on this, not enough time on this. But there is some cool stuff. And they said there are some pretty good action sequences. There's a couple of cool fights and this, that, and the other. I've never heard that from any other source whatsoever, because these guys actually watch the movie and they're talking about the whole thing start to finish and give you a bit of an idea as to the overall picture. If you don't actually go out of your way to find someone who's actually seen it to talk about it, all you see online is absolute dog shit. Do not go and see this movie. That's the message that was everybody just got bombarded with.
Yeah.
So I think there's an element of truth in this movie was sabotaged. It was torpedoed right from day one, because you don't see that. Because there are some terrible movies, but you don't see them get torpedoed from day one in the same way as this Sony, I don't know, what would you call it, a Spider-Verse or something?
Yeah, well, it works the other way too.
It's only them. It's only these movies that get sabotaged.
It works the other way too. You'll see films. I've seen films that were elevated as, God's balls, and I watch it and I'm thinking, what? What are you like? You'll see, and they'll call it, and they'll explain it in the descriptors and the reviews as being this type of film, and the acting's so good and the writing's so good and the way and you're watching and you're thinking, wait a minute. And after a while, it'll come out that, it just, it was just announced the other day that, and Disney's really good at that. There was actually it was the one you watched, John, the one with Agatha Harkness. I guess they're not having a second season of it.
No.
But I thought it was, I legitimately thought it was successful, because all I saw online was that people loved it. But
it's the people loved it. I enjoyed it after I sat down and started watching. But
I was genuinely surprised.
She's dead, and she's a ghost.
I don't
Spoilers alert. So they don't need a second season.
Okay, because a lot of people were like, "What?" Because some folks have watched it, and there had been nothing. I don't remember seeing too many negative reviews about it online. There was a few things about the content, but I thought it was going to have a second season.
I think someone was bombarded at the start by giving information, and I should have took it with a grain of salt when it was Audrey Plaza that said it, because she's always got that smart ass remark. She said, "Yeah, we're going to gay it up." So
she's had a rough year.
Oh no, she was being her sarcastic self, right? They asked her a question, and I'm going to gay her up. But anyways, I don't know. I think it's fine. Don't have to have a second season. It finished pretty well. They opened it different, but sometimes you just leave things rust. You don't need to do it again. The only reason there's studies about second season is because of successful. And they've been having some shit dumped on them a while, right?
I don't. Have any of those series got a second season?
What's that? Sorry.
Have any of those series got a second season confirmed yet? Like I know She-Hulk isn't going to get one.
You know why?
Is Moon Knight?
You can't believe it. No, none of them have really got confirmed. Even She-Hulk, none of them have been 100% confirmed. They're doing a second season. There's always no.
Well, She-Hulk, they said no. That was confirmed, but the Moon Knight and Werewolf.
You take different sources, so they say still not off the table. So you don't. I just sit back and wait. I take what I can get now.
I thought there was only ever going to be one season of Moon Knight. I didn't know they were going to do a second one at all.
I don't know how it ended. I have no idea how it ended.
Well, it ended with.
I just seem to read the one do one.
Well, it ended with an idea that they could do another, because he introduced a character, one of his third personalities.
Okay.
And,
yes. So
yeah, you're right.
They ended it with him getting it. It was the cab driver. That was.
Yeah, it was.
So, anyways.
Yeah, personality emerged, but yeah. So we should just stop wanting things. We're not going to end up getting disappointed.
Well, the thing, and it's also one of the phrases I diss is that no one wanted this, and I don't like that phrase because it has no bearing on what we want. It's what the studios want and figure they can do, right?
Yeah.
So if we wanted, we'd be getting better stories and more concentrated stories without having certain agendas, and even in the Marvel films, right? We would have got 4 or 5 or 6 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. If we had got what we wanted with this, we get what we want with that. It don't matter what we want. It's what they decide to give us. That was the whole point of what's his name in Apple phone. His idea is don't tell them what they want. Don't let them figure out what they want. You tell them what they want. So
Yeah.
Vince McMahon thought the same way. He said, "Just tell them what they want. They don't know what they want."
oh fuck,
Yeah.
did they? Oh yeah. It was 1-1. Crawley scored with 90 minutes and something. Just under 90 minutes.
Really?
They went into extra time, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and Wrexham scored. And it's 5 minutes extra time. And it's at 5:11.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to blow the whistle.
All they need to do is, you just need to hold them off now. They're not coming back after that.
No. Fucking A. So,
We should
sorry,
make the
folks.
cut here, eh?
No,
Let's
fuck
put it-
that.
put
Oh,
90
cut
minutes.
here for the end of the show?
I'll give a hook for the next show. I'll be talking about the reboot of Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I saw that. Okay. All right.
That's
You know
what
what? That's
everybody
fine.
wants to
We
talk
will.
about.
We'll end it here. We'll go take
That's
a coffee
good.
break and do our
Yeah.
wee pee-pees and coffee and shit. And we will record a second episode after this, folks. It won't drop right away. But if you've listened to this one, and thank you, I've got to start thanking people because until I get a better idea of who's recording, well, listen to this stuff. It's not very. I think we're only doing it for ourselves now.
No, there's people. It's just not on the platforms we think. I've
I know.
seen some of the subscribers on other platforms.
Yeah.
People are hearing it. It's just not people we know about.
Yeah. Fucking A.
2-1.
2-1. So, Crowley, they thought they had the tie, and it looked like it was 90-minute mark. So, but
Yeah. Oh,
anyways,
yeah. All the fans have been going wild. Okay.
so there's your update on the game, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't been watching. Anyways, yeah. So from Scott, Seymour Kuntz, and Paul
Seymour
and
Kuntz.
myself. Thanks for downloading and listening, and we will talk to you. No, we won't talk to you. You'll listen to us
A little bit.
a little bit. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
That's all, folks.
Thank you. Come again.
Why, you little?